Hello everyone, Carlo here, and I'd like to do my own. I like to do my own. I like to do a tutorial on how to make a thumbnail for your TF2 parody dubs. Because here, as this is a very because these are certain kinds of videos that are actually all over the place, even though not a lot of them get at least 1 million views. So I figured, why not do something like this? So I'm gonna remove all this stuff because that way I can show it better. And since I already did this with Marasmus, I figured why not do the same thing with the other one, but I wanted to demonstrate with a tutorial since I figured, hey, I figured I could just do a tutorial on this. So the first thing you want to do is to find some screenshots of what you're doing. Now you're going to want to find a YouTube screenshot extension for Google Chrome in this case, and for this one, I'm going to look up Bombarder Beetle. Wait, slow motion. Okay. And then I'll have this one over here, and you should see a feature on how to make a screenshot like this one over here. Otherwise, if you don't have anything like that, you can go to a website where you can make YouTube screenshots. So, in that case, I'm going to, let's say if I took a screenshot of something like this, or you just click screenshot and you save it to where you want. But I got everything I needed for screenshots, so I don't need to put any. And you're also going to make sure you have them have them fill up a reasonable amount of the screen. I wanted to showcase two beetles, so I just cropped them and each in by 50%. So there's that. And wait, oh sorry about that. And you know what? I'm gonna actually format that and crop it a little bit differently. Okay, so I wanted to try getting rid of the BBC logo as much as I could, but I couldn't really do it here much for this, so everything is what it is. And I think I'll make that a little higher, but so now we got to get to the real point. So how are you supposed to make these faces? Well, you can go buy images in TF2 Wiki, or in TF2 wikis, or you can just find some meme faces that make absolutely no sense. But I don't recommend that method because you want to be descriptive of what you're doing. You see how this beetle looks like he's gonna, with this face over here, it looks like he's gonna terrorize the forest or anything like that, which is obviously going to be the point because in the actual documentary he um, fights some of the ants. So you're going to make sure that you have a face that is descriptive of what's going on in the screenshot. Now, if you do use images from the TF2 wiki, you have to make sure that the faces are easy to crop. If they're not, then you'll have a hard time, and you'll get cosmetics in the face that you don't want to see. Here's an example of Spy with a cosmetic that doesn't cover anything of his face or something that's not too close to it. So there's an example of that. I used that in one of I used that in the thumbnail for one of my other videos. Or here's another one with a cosmetic that's not really that's inoffensive, but and there's still something around his neck, but you can get rid of anything like that if you're just gonna have his head and maybe his earpiece if you want to have that. And here's something that's probably much tougher. Something like this Demo Man image or this one over here. Okay, that one's not too bad, but something like this. But yeah, you want to make sure that you know what you're going to put in. And now what about making your own faces? Well, you can use programs like Gmod or SFM for TF2 models, but I'm going to use SFM in this case. So with this one, I already got the angle right for the pyro, but how do you remove his body? Well, I'm going to use this example in the work camera. So I'm going to go to new model, and I'm going to use one that where I can use a good example of it. I'm going to put player. And let's use demo as an example. So I'm going to move demo to another place. But first you're going to move him right, you're going to want to hit the F3 key, hold the control key, find root and transform of the model, and then move him to a place that's suitable. And so next step you're going to want to do is to get rid of anything that is going to fill up. Get rid of anything that would get that would interfere with the removing the face. Like now, if you have anything that's part of his body that you can remove, you should easily click none for anything like that. But with here, I'm going to right click this model, click add override materials, then show an element viewer, click animation set, click this plus over here next to game model, same thing with materials. And if you see something that says head, that's a good sign that you should not remove that. But Demo Man red, that's an example of his body. Or if you have something like shirt or anything like that, then get rid of those kinds of models. Just don't get rid of his head. And right click this, go to add attribute, go to float, and then select all of this, or just hold backspace and everything, and then type $alpha. So all you have is just his head. Now to remove, and with his head, you can still see his neck in this case. So I'm going to hold control again, go to bip head, move it at a suitable angle where it won't interfere with the where it won't interfere with the angles. And there you go. You have his head and not his neck. Otherwise, you can try removing his neck if you can, but I don't think I would guarantee that. And otherwise, okay, now I'm just having some weird fun here. So anyway, let's go to face. And one thing that you'll find is that he has those procedural tabs in here, like he'll have mad right in here, and scared and all that kind of stuff, and silence or happy or dead, and all those kinds of faces in here. For some other models, meanwhile, let's use another one for example. Okay, where's some of the HWM stuff? HWM or HWN really. So I can find anything here, or if I just look up Demo Man. So yeah, there's all this stuff. And some of them may have HWN models, some may not. So, for example, this sniper model that I'm going to find right around this place. Or this one over here. Or HW, something like that. Or you can just put HW in this case. So yeah, some may have HWN models, some may not. Or even this one, for example, or something like this, or anything like that, or M. But now I'm getting off track. So with this one over here, another example, let's just use one of the enhanced ones. Some may have something called a motion tab, or anything like that. And in this case, I'm going to use an enhanced Demo Man model, which we'll use, which is a hatless model in this case. And if you want to put those in, here's my method. So I'm going to click Show an Element Viewer again, or click Animation Set after right-clicking all this. Go to Game Model, and then okay, no, not Game Model. Go to Preset Groups, click this, hold Shift, and then click what's at the bottom of the list, and click Copy, or use Control C. And then you can go over here and basically right click this, and then show animation set again, usual, and then hit Control V, or you can just right click and paste. So now you can use so now you can use some of them, even though they may not work for others. Some may work differently, just to let you guys know. But but in this case, you'll have more access depending on what you're going after. So, but I don't. Some may work differently than others, but just use this in case you have a model that doesn't have any of these tabs when they're necessary or no emotion settings. But if you already have them, but then it doesn't matter. This demo man model, meanwhile, already has everything. I just did that copy and paste thing as an example for anything that doesn't have any emotion slides or anything like that. So FV, open jaw, ooh, all this kind of stuff. Aw, uh, uh, er. And definitely use these in animations when you're trying to trying to sync with what they're speaking. If you can't lip sync them properly, because yeah. So anyway, so once you get that right, then you can just once you have it the way you want, go to export after you click file, then click poster. Save when you save when you can. Otherwise, if you don't want to have these, then you can just continue without saving if you want to, and put it as PNG because that is very supportive. Or if JPG works and not PNG, then just use JPEG. I can't believe I said JPG and then JPEG, but whatever. Have it to a suitable resolution. Have it at a widescreen, by the way, like 3840 and 2160 respectively. And then click export poster once you're ready. Then you can crop whatever's necessary all by yourself. So that way you're aware of what needs to be done. I already exported one for the pyro that I'm going to be using, so I'm going to just not worry about that. And back to pyro. So then you're going to want to put it on PowerPoint once it's all exported. Click remove background after you click format when you select the image. So when you click remove background, it'll have a very easy time if you're using a blank screen that doesn't blend with the color of the actual gas mask itself. So in this case, this was over a green screen, so it'll be easy as opposed to that gray map itself. And then crop all this space that's blank and transparent and all that kind of stuff, you name it. And put it over that. And the last thing I want to do is put something like TF2 Dub or whatever you want to put. And in this case, I'm going to just put a logo I found in Google Images. It's large enough, and I don't need to worry about transparencies. You can easily find that in Google Images, and then you're going to put a text box putting Dub. Now, you can use any text font in this case, but I'm going to be just using this custom one, or this, not custom, this one that I found online. It's called TF2 Build, and that's what it's called over there. I'm going to make it white personally, so, but you can use any color you want. Now I'm going to go to Format once the text spot is selected. Go to Text Effects, go to Glow, and then click Glow Options. Then I'm going to click Glow Color in here, and then make it black. Or if you want to use something else like green if you want to, you can. So go ahead. Just make sure it doesn't. Just make sure the text is easy to see. Otherwise, I'm just gonna make it kind of like forest green, and I'll make it a lot larger. You can use the shadow option, but actually no. If you use the shadow option and if you try to make that large, it'll be very wide, so it'll look weird as opposed to the glow. So you can make it little transparent if you want to, but it doesn't matter. And you'll have to make sure that this thumbnail is in widescreen if you can, but make sure it doesn't go beyond 1280 pixels in weight or in width and 720 in height. Otherwise, go to custom slide size, type in here 1280px in width, and in height put 720px. Then click OK, and then go to File, click Export, go to Change File Type, and then click that, then click Save As. Now I'm going to override this one because I kind of like this one a little better. So I'm going to click Save, and make sure it's at a proper name too. Like put like thumbnail or anything like that, whatever you want. And when it asks you what slides you want to export, just click just this one, and you're all ready to go. You just have to be ready when you're uploading the video. And that'll be all for today. I'll see you guys later, and enjoy the upcoming TF2 Dub that you guys will be seeing in a very short amount of time. Peace.